Welcome to the Pay Yourself First podcast. My name is Chris Jolly, and I'm on a mission to financially empower millions of entrepreneurs. I want you to make and keep more money so that you can begin implementing and turbocharging a plan for creating financial freedom your way during the life cycle of your current business without spending a ton of time or becoming a professional investor. You see, most of the financial teachings out there are made for employees, not entrepreneurs. If you wouldn't listen to someone who doesn't have kids about parenting, why take business financial advice from someone without a business? Are you ready to break free of bad advice and follow the trail of other uncommon entrepreneurs so you can get from where you are now to the lifestyle you were aiming to create when you started your business? Then stick around. Here comes another episode of Pay Yourself First, where the only investment we offer is the one you make in yourself. Hey, welcome back, y'all, to the Alchemy of Abundance Virtual Summit. We're going to talk about more ways to have more money, more pleasure, more fun in life, all that great stuff. And I'm your host, Chris Jolly. This time I've got Ksenia Droben from Droben Matchmaking joining us. Ksenia, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. It's our pleasure to have you as well. I know you're going to deliver a lot of value for everybody who's watching, so really excited. Now, you're a certified dating coach, an award-winning international matchmaker, the host of single dating events in 7 countries, a TV matchmaker, a speaker at international conferences, and more. That's really awesome. Today, we're going to be talking about how to meet the right dating partner in 2024. Ready to get going? Okay.
Okay.
I'm interested to dive into this one. I have to say personally, I'm super glad to be off of the dating market right now, just based upon what I see out there. But for everybody who is on the dating market, let's give them a little bit of hope. What are we talking about today?
We will talk about, thank you so much for mentioning the word market, because many people, single people, they think it's like paradise. As soon I register my profile somewhere, let's say on Tinder, I will get immediately amazing matches. I will fall in love and I will be happy all my life. But it's a market. It means it's not only you choose the partner, it's not only you buying, you have to sell yourself. And this is a crucial thing, especially in matchmaking business where people pay for the services. Some of them really overestimate their charm and say, Ksenia, I paid for the service. I said, yes, you did, but it's for service. You didn't pay for people. And to get these people, girls or boys, depends on who I'm talking to, you have to try harder and be better dater.
Yeah, so let's talk about being a better dater. I think that for a lot of people, dating kind of happens accidentally almost, I want to say. I know it has for me in the past. You talk to somebody you work with or one of your friends' friends or somebody that you run into, and you might have a romantic attraction, you might have a physical attraction, and then you can find out like 3 months later, 6 months later that suddenly you're in a relationship with this person. And although there's that attraction or those things in common, there are a lot of other issues in the relationship.
Yes, I have this conversation with many people. They tell me, so why do I need a matchmaker? Why do I need dating apps? I found my partner myself, and I always ask when. And usually it's 5, 6, 7 years ago. Don't forget, we had 2 years of sitting at home, pandemic. And after pandemic, people really struggle. Even London, who was always booming with events, came back only now. And 2 years sitting at home, if you were single, if you were not very successful in dating, you went online and then you got in this paradox of choice. Because looking at these profiles, amazing, so many thousands, but realistically, how to approach this person, how to start conversation, how to build trust through the words, how to invite a girl, usually go for coffee. I ask men who contact me because I always have this conversation, why you and why not Tinder? And I always ask, when were your last date? And some people really forgot when they had real dates because they confused by this paradox of choice sitting on the dating apps, and they don't know how to invite you for coffee or for tea.
Yeah, the dating apps are really interesting, and I'm seeing now kind of a lot of blowback against them and a lot of people pulling out of them, realizing one, it's not really a great way to meet people. Like you said, there are so many options on there, it's overwhelming. And I know from the men's side, it can be very hard because the women get a lot of attention on the dating apps, and the men, unless you're like the top tier, not necessarily. And it can even be like bad for your self-esteem in that way. At the same time, I have a success story because my partner Tilly and I met through Bumble. And I'm actually glad that we did, only because after all of the time I spent on all those apps, I'm glad to know I got something out of it for all the time I put in. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about why people are leaving the dating apps and what they're doing instead right now?
The situation is Bumble is not as bad as Tinder because Bumble is 60% men and 40% women. It's okay. But Tinder is very bad. And, everybody starts with Tinder right now, but there are 80% men, 20% women. So it means realistically, it's not possible to find somebody decent, let's say decent, because like you said, I like what you said, because after all the time you spent on dating apps, you're so happy to find somebody normal. So you stop searching just because this person is okay compared to all this crazy world swimming on the dating apps. So my recommendation is, so Tinder, Bumble, and other apps, it's amazing tools, but you have to know what do you have to do. So as a man, you have to think about your photos first. Don't, because women not blind. Women look at the photos. And first of all is really this first attraction. And second, people forget the importance of this self-presentation. They train a lot this elevator speech in terms of business, but forget about it in terms of dating. I host a lot of online events, and online events, it's really presentation, like elevator speech by 60, 80, 90 people. You see them on Zoom. And sometimes I really struggle to keep my smile because I think, what are you telling people? Stop doing this, because they go to these speed dating meetings. They tell the same or say the same stupid things. I wanted to say another word, stupid things to the strangers. So it's really very important to think, what do I want to tell people about myself? What are my strengths? What I'm special for? What can I be? I don't know, different from other people, because most of presentation, I finished this university, nothing special about me. If you want to know me better, ask me. Nobody will. Nobody will, because we have less and less time. We stop hearing if you don't like the presentation, and you can see it on the faces on online parties. The people really fall asleep if presentation is boring. And these other things, before you go to dating, doesn't matter, dating platform, matchmaker, dating events, it doesn't matter. It's really understanding who I am and who do I want to find.
Yeah, and that's important, knowing who that you want to find, because otherwise, like we talked about a little bit before, you're liable to just start dating whoever is close by, and that doesn't always work out. So how do you date more with purpose, and what can you suggest to people who aren't just trying to bump into whoever, but have a specific thing that they're really looking for?
I recommend to start with shopping list. It's really shopping list. This is such strong tool. Shopping list means I know who I am. I have very honest conversation with myself. I know what can make me happy. For example, I need dog to be happy. I cannot live without dogs. So it means I will not accept the best woman in the world. I cannot accept her just because she doesn't like dogs, because I know that dogs are important for me, for my well-being. You know what I mean? There can be little things. Sometimes there is their wish to have children. I know that I want to have a child. I met the best guy in the world and he's amazing, but he doesn't want to. I want it. It's very important for my happiness because my life is more important than anybody else. And this is really very interesting to have this conversation. What do I need? What do I need to be happy? A couple of days ago, I had like round table. We have such meetings, men and women, to ask question. You know, like men ask women about such some stuff, and women ask men. It's really like group conversation, and women. Most women answered to the question was, what do you pay attention first when you meet a person? And I expected, you know, teeth, fingers, I don't know, legs, teeth, whatever. Women said, I look at him, and for me, it's very important how he looks at me. And depends on this, I built up my conversation. It's victim position. It's really victim position because I look at him, and if he forgot, I don't know, to smile or show his really very special friendly face, or maybe he has in life this resting bitch face, we don't know. And if he forgot to react, you know, because of many reasons, she thinks immediately, okay, I have to stop being flirty, I have to stop being nice because he didn't react, you know, I'm not doing anything. And that's so wrong. So, you know, so this is the thing. If you know what do you need for your happiness, for your well-being, you will not react so much on reaction of other people. Because, okay, yeah, it was bad date, but you know, how many bad dates I had already? One more, one less. It's not end of the life. You know what I mean? It gives you strength. I know I have my list, you know, not negotiable. And I want to meet the person who fit to this list.
Yeah, that is so important because I know so many relationships and I've been in them where they ended because you matched up with somebody who you didn't match one of those important non-negotiables with. And like you said, if you really want to have kids and the person you're with doesn't, it's just going to end in heartache, right? I mean, because you're not going to change your mind, they're not going to change theirs, or you're going to spend your whole time trying to change that person and drive them away from you. So, how do you make the decision, or what do you recommend to people to find the wiggle room? Like, right, you have the non-negotiables, and then there are some things that are just like, I'd really like this, but if it's not that, that's okay. Like, you know, we'd all love the most attractive partner out there, more or less, but you know, if they're not a supermodel, that doesn't mean we're not going to date them, kind of thing.
No, this is really interesting thing about this list. Of course, 100% match we will never meet. So it's 60-70% is okay. But why this list is so important? Because if you go to the date and you are charmed by this person, but you go home, you open your book and see, okay, 10%. It might be a good romance for a holiday or for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks, but it's only 10% from my happiness. Because if you don't have this list and you go to the dates and you check and you test, and then you are involved with your feelings in this relationship, it will be more complicated to say, no, it doesn't work because I have my wishes, I have my life. So it means this list just keep you can have this short affair for a couple of weeks. It's fine to have fun. It's really we have only one life, unfortunately. It's fine, but if you think about long-term relationship, it should be some plan. And I like the quote that love is emotion and relationship is choice.
Oh, I like that one too. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
So Ksenia, what I'd like to do is I want to bring it back around to abundance. And I think there's the misconception that there are no more good people left to date. Like they say there's a million fish in the sea, and then you go on the dating apps and you're like, oh, it's all these same boring people. All the good people are already married, that sort of thing. What can you say to counteract that, or to help people realize that there is an abundance of partners out there for them and so many people who could possibly meet the needs and wants and desires they have?
The problem is everybody, let's speak about Tinder. Everybody complains about Tinder, telling that the people there are crazy. But who's there if everybody is complaining?
Yep.
So first of all, you have to start with yourself. And their misconception about dating apps, it's free, it's cheap, there is not responsibility. I can do whatever I want to. And then after it, ghosting, schmosting, and all other new psychological problems, after 2 days writing, I was ghosted. You were not ghosted, you were boring, and girl stopped writing to you. Just simple situation. People try to fit in some boxes, and it's awful. This modern psychology is awful. My recommendation is always, okay, about the list we know already, don't be charmed by face, because face we got from our parents. We haven't done anything to get this face. Women, of course, yeah, a little bit, but men generally not. And if you got not very beautiful face, but amazing character, and he brings flowers and he takes care of you, what is more important, his nose or the flowers? Really like making decision conscience. And if, for example, he say, yeah, I would like you to be slimmer, this example. Okay, what is more important for you? Her weight or that she's a great partner, she supports you all the time, and doesn't matter what's going on, she's always on your side. What is more important? Yes, partnership is great, but I would like her to be slimmer. Okay, stop eating sweets at home. Invite her for expensive gym, book for her some spa treatment, do something for her to help her get off this routine and get off these habits, being just a mom or being just a wife. I think it's not, I think the partnership, it's like active position. Okay, I understand what are the good points at my partner, and I don't really like this, but let's talk about it. I think conversation is very important.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. Communication is key if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody.
And I always say, if you have fear to mention some topics in your relationship, probably the relationship is a problem. Because usually if it's normal relationship, working relationship, you have no, I don't know, forbidden topics. You can speak about everything, of course, searching the right words and not hurt your partner, but generally about money, about sex, you can talk about everything.
Yeah, well, you should be able to for sure. Now, when people come to you and they are looking to find a partner, what do you find are some of the biggest mindset issues that are getting in their way of finding that partner or going out on dates or going out on dates with the right people?
There are two main fears, and it's different men and women. Men are afraid to be rejected, so it's fear of rejection. So it's mean with men, I work more sending them in video dates, online parties, getting them to the events, just to get them in the habit to talk to women in real life and not chatting only. And with women, it's another fear. It's a fear of not finding the right one. It's like procrastination. I'm not going to um, take new photos just because I'm not sure if it will work. So I'm not doing anything just because I'm already afraid that it will not work. So it means with them, we work on different side. Just do it. Just do it and you will see the difference. Okay, you saw the difference. Next step, we change your presentation or we change red lipstick or I don't know. So it's really like really learning by doing. We get them into habit to do something and believe in their, I think it's more increasing self-esteem.
Gotcha. That's really interesting what you said about women being afraid of not finding the right one. I think through a lot of the media and culture we've all consumed growing up and even as adults, there's this idea that a lot of people have that there's only one person out there for them in the world, which sounds like a big scarcity mindset issue to me. And then you're kind of forever running around being like, oh my God, there's only one person, and I have to find this one person out of all the billions of people. That sounds impossible and exhausting.
Statistically, it's impossible. And I remember in the school, our literature teacher um, spoke about Bible. I don't know why was Bible the topic. And he said, so realistically, we have a lot of halves. It's not only one half. There are a lot of halves, and we can be different happy with different halves. Just search for the right one and don't rush. And I think it's really interesting position, because some people really, really, really want to find the right one, and they want it so much that they are not able to find, just because the wish is so strong. So it's always should be, okay, if I will not find this person today, I am happy right now in my own life without this person. And I think about abundance and this misconception of people, many really many people who really, really want to be in relationship, they just wait for this right moment to start doing some hobbies or going somewhere, traveling somewhere. Usually they say, I like sport or I like tennis. Let's take tennis as example. I like tennis. I would like to play it more if I find the right person. I like theater, but I don't go there. I would like to go to the theater when I find the right person. And that's wrong. If you want to go to the theater, go now. If you want to play tennis, play now. If you want to dance, play now. Play boys. You can always find people to try new things you like to do. And this waiting for the right person, maybe the right person will never arrive.
Yeah, and it's kind of backwards, because if you want to meet somebody who has similar interests, go do the thing. That's where you meet the people who are doing the thing that you're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Searching for, if like dancing, that dancing is so huge in Germany right now, and people really obsessed with dancing. If you want to find a partner who share your interests, go to dancing club and you will find these people. So simple as it.
Yeah. Now, as we're talking about there being an abundance of different people that you could be in a great relationship with, you work in with people from many different countries. And I think one of the things that a lot of people believe is that they need to find somebody who's local to them, and that's where to look. And it can definitely be easier, but there are also a wide variety of people outside of your local area that you could have a great relationship with. What do you find are some of the biggest challenges in overcoming like cultural differences and language differences and dating people from somewhere else?
Thank you for this question. I think generally people who are searching international, they are more open, and for them this question how to accept another culture, another mentality, another language is not a question. It's more where to get this information to understand this person quicker. And again, fortunately, pandemic changed our attitude about dating, because people really started looking around and not being concentrated on the people from own area, because the world is huge and people can travel, people can walk online. What's happening right now with many people, for example, you and me, we have our interview sitting on the different continents. Who could imagine it 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Even television, they don't go to the studio anymore. They record the interviews with moderators, just on Dinson. Who could imagine it 5 years ago? So it means we live really in very interesting time, where we can plan our time, our life better than before. So I don't see any problems with international dating right now. I see more problem with like what's happening now with traveling, and the prices, all of this, what restricts traveling right now, but not mentality. We have only in June we had 2 weddings and 1 engagement.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Very. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to ask you about is the younger people. There are a lot of studies and a lot of polls they've conducted, and they're finding that current teenagers, people in their 20s and even up to 30, haven't been in relationships, haven't, in some cases, had sex yet, like are not dating, don't seem to be interested in dating. Can you touch on what's going on there, at least from your point of view?
Absolutely. And it's a huge problem. My son is 19, and I see this problem because all these 2 years sitting at home and then just not having this experience how to speak to the girls. He had a couple of months, very funny situation. He works in the coffee shop as barista, and he tried to ask out some girls, ask them out, and they were on the nose. And finally, one client came to this coffee shop and asked him, because he's quite handsome, "What are you doing tonight?" And just because he has not this experience at all, he misses 2 important years of just asking girls out. His answer was, "Why are you asking?" When he came home, I said, "You know what? You are my failure." Really, because you had to answer for such a beautiful girl. I will always find time. And no experience. No experience in dating at all. It's really I bet they can text on there, but not really meeting.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that we need to find a way to turn that ship around, because if they're not interested in dating, then they're not going to form long-term relationships, and then they're not going to have children. And we already have a birth rate replacement issue going on in most of the Western world right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. But they are really not interested because they have games. They playing online. They have own interests. They are not really interested in the other genders. Yeah, it's sad.
I think
It's really
another
sad.
Yeah. And I think another thing that's going on, and maybe this more so affects older people than younger people, is there is a lot of division, whether purposeful, accidental, being spread between men and women. And so you have men who are afraid to ever approach women because they think they'll be labeled a creep, or somebody's going to call them out and say it's sexual harassment. And women, in a lot of cases, are afraid of men because they've been given the idea that all men are predators or they're dangerous to them. Can you touch on that as well?
Oh, it's one of my favorite topics. This Me Too movement. It's Me Too,
Yeah.
because it's really wrong. Because originally, genetically, women more likely to choose strong men. Strong man means testosterone. Something like, I can take care of you. I can solve all the problems. I am the strong man. I can protect you from the world. Emancipation. I'm strong as well. I'm strong, independent woman. I don't need you. And what's happening? Women, to be strong woman is quite easy. It's simple. It's more complicated to become weaker, or pretending being weaker right now, and play this game. I'm a weak woman. Can you help me, please? And I saw it so many times with my clients, and I train them. As example, we have events, and I always find the moment to say, "Boys, I need your help. Can you move chairs, please? I can do it myself, or I can ask the servant from the restaurant to do it." But I play the game, and I always see, this first moment, what should I do? Because they are not in habit to help women. Why? Because women don't ask. And it's destroying testosterone. It's destroying all these balance, man, woman. It impacts, of course, their birth rate. It impacts everything. It impacts sex. It impacts life. It impacts inner stress by men, especially. So it's really, they have to think. They have to think about how to produce more testosterone to be more men than they are. There are coaches who teach men to be men. It's awful. It's really all these, protect. it's difficult topic because I don't think that women should have less rights than men. Of course, we have to have the same rights in terms of salary, but should be some protection from the government giving men more rights to be men. And not, make it gender neutral. Yesterday I went to the kids theater, gender neutral toilet. Really.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that whole thing.
Kids theater, they have to think about, I don't know, Mary Poppins.
Right.
And not about a gender neutral toilet. Why?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Before we get into your free gift and wrap it up, I want to bring it back around and talk about how finding the right partner and being in the right relationship can lead to more abundance. Obviously, it will lead to an abundance of love, hopefully. But what other ways does that abundance begin showing up in your life when you find a right partner?
There are a lot of researchers that prove that we people, we are society creatures, we have to stay together. Usually men who are in relationship, they live longer and have better health. Women not. Women live less. Yeah, women live less in relationship because of men. Men annoy us so hard, but it's really interesting. Most people, with some few exceptions, they feel much better, healthier, stronger, having someone, because there are three. It's my favorite topic as well. There are three basic needs we all have. It's not sex, it's not security, it's the reassurance of self-esteem. So it means we need somebody who always say, you are great, you're best, you are you are amazing. Then we need somebody who gives us intimacy and closeness. Again, relationship, it's much easier to get it if you have relationship. And then support.
Wonderful.
So that's why men in relationship, they live longer, because they get all these three basic needs from their partner.
Then why do the women live less long?
Because men don't know how to support women sometimes. They start helping on the wrong way. They forget to listen, this active listening. Yeah, it's the problem is, and I had this conversation with some coaches and some psychologists, women are more interested to know about psychology, reading books, watching videos, and most men think, I am great, it's enough. Mm-hmm. It's enough. So if men would read a little bit more or get more information about how it works, about women needs, I don't mean sexual needs, I mean these basic needs, it would be better for them, because otherwise they really learn from experience, and sometimes it's not a good experience.
For sure. Ksenia, fascinating stuff. Now, your free gift is access to an online singles dating party. So all you single people out there, this is for you. The link for that is below the video here. Can you tell everybody a little bit more what that's about, what it's like?
Okay, so I like science. I like science behind the love. I believe in love at first sight, but most of all, I believe in strategy behind their emotions. My single events, all based on science. First impression, there are two first impressions, but first impression is the most important thing. So that's why we organize our online events, and it's like online introduction. So it means everybody tells this dating elevator speech about himself, about herself. And after event, we share contact information across. But another thing, very important, to build some connection, you have to spend 90 minutes with a person. And just because my event is about hour and a half altogether, so it means even just being on the screens, people still spend 90 minutes together. So it means they feel like community, they feel already like they know each other, because 90 minutes they saw these faces on the screen. And it really works. After every event, we have couples, we have not engagements, not all the time, but a lot of couples, a lot of conversation, a lot of fun, and a lot of dopamine.
Wonderful. So if you're single and you're looking for somebody, go ahead and check that out. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next success story.
Yes, and you will post a photo, and I will be very proud. And we can say Chris and me, we got one couple together.
There you go. Now I'm a matchmaker too.
Yes.
And yet,
Yes, of course you are, because you match your audience with speakers and with experts. You too.
yeah, absolutely. Love it. Ksenia, it's been an absolute blast talking to you. Love diving into all of this stuff. Thank you so much for coming on the summit.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course. And everybody else out there, I hope you enjoyed this talk as much as I did. And we will see you on the next one. This has been the Alchemy of Abundance Virtual Summit. I'm your host, Chris Jolly. We will see you next time. If you've listened this far, chances are you're an entrepreneur looking to become more financially literate and create financial freedom for yourself from your business. The Pay Yourself First podcast is definitely here to help with that. My goal is to continue to share what I've learned about using your business as the tool to create financial freedom. But let's face it, it would take me years to share with you everything you need to know via these episodes. Creating financial freedom is something that most people never even consider, let alone make a plan for or take action towards. It's something almost no one was taught anything about. Doing it as an entrepreneur is even more challenging, especially without support. So if you're ready to get clear on what financial freedom looks like for you, come up with an action plan, and get the support systems and accountability you need, I invite you to consider the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur. I created the program to help entrepreneurs just like you get a handle on their personal and business finances and start building confidently towards financial freedom. And it's how you can discover ways to take 10 years off your retirement, add an extra 5 or 6 figures to your portfolio, and finally get clear on what numbers you should be tracking in your business and why. Together, we'll gain clarity around your financial goals and what being financially free would actually look like for you. Then we'll put together a customized game plan to get you there and the accountability to see you through. And by the way, you're also going to get all the spreadsheets you need to run your numbers, lifetime access to the materials, including any updates, and entry into our members-only community. In addition to all the knowledge, coaching, community, and systems that you need to create financial freedom from your business, you'll also receive a free financial assessment, a retirement planning session, and guided meditation aimed at helping you embody the feeling of true financial freedom. So yeah, you can just listen to the free content on these podcasts to help you move towards becoming a financially free entrepreneur. And sure, you'll likely see some results, or you can make the decision to commit to learning, implementing, and embodying what you need to know to create the financially free life you dreamed of when you started your business journey. Click the link in the show notes to answer a quick questionnaire, and you'll be on your way to joining the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur.